Happy Saturday, and today is July 4th, so happy 4th, or greetings whenever you're joining us. My name is Caitlin, and this is Comeback Yoga's Level 2 Saturday morning class. And this month we are focusing on balancing. And do not be afraid, my friends. I am so excited for this month. I'll just say one thing to remember is that there's no shame in the wall game. Whenever I practice yoga, especially if I'm out in the community, I like to set up as close as I can to a wall. Um, Dizziness is real. It happens in yoga, and that's okay. Just have a support nearby that's helpful to you. It can be a chair, a couch, a very still animal, but that was a joke. Just make sure that you have something to support you as we balance and move, and know that your practice is your practice today. Whatever shape you make, that's where we're at, and that is good. So, thank you for joining us. And this practice will be about 40 minutes long. All of those minutes are yours. So, if ever I'm cueing something where you don't want to be, no worries. Go where you want to go. Find a pose that feels good for you, and then know that we will move on and meet up later. And we are going to start in a reclined pose, reclined butterfly. So our knees are going to be wide, soles of the feet are together. If you have blocks or a pillow, you want to sneak them underneath your knees as a support, go ahead. And this pose isn't your favorite and you want to go somewhere else, like I said, open however feels good for you. And if your knees are wide like mine, we're just using this as a gentle hip opener. So you might allow the knees to be heavy if that feels good. Still thinking about rooting through the full spine, as much of the spine as you can find on your mat, and your hips as much as possible. As you arrive on the mat, you might bring awareness to the spaces where you're grounded. Check in with those spaces first. See how they're feeling today. Maybe still sleepy and waking up. Maybe feeling rested. Maybe I'm not getting any feedback yet, and that's all good. Whatever you feel, fantastic. You might bring your hands to your belly or have one hand over your belly button and one hand over your chest. That's what I'm going to go for. I love having my hands here, especially when I first start practice, because it helps me feel my breath. This thing that keeps us alive without us even trying. You might notice your breath moving underneath your hands. There's no need to change your breath here. Just notice it. And throughout this time, if thoughts come, great, notice those too. And then maybe bring your awareness or choose to direct your awareness back to your breath or your body, sensations you feel, back to your mat and your practice, back to what is happening right now. All the rest will come or it won't. What's now is for now. From here, we might still the hand over our chest. Think about filling our belly with air as much as possible. Pushing the belly button away from the spine, and then noticing as it maybe falls back down and the breath leaves your body. And it's okay if your other hand still moves, or if you notice movement in your shoulders or anywhere else. We're just bringing our intention to filling the belly up with air. So good. We'll do that for 3 more breaths. Fantastic. And then from here, you might elongate your right leg, right toes point for the ceiling, and then bring your left knee in towards your chest. You might hug it in towards your chest, just drawing it straight like it's coming towards your face, or you might draw it out to the side, to the right side, so it's coming up like it's gonna cup underneath your armpit. I'm going to keep all of our toes pointing towards the ceiling. And you might energetically think about pressing your right leg down, like rooting it into the mat. And my dog is yawning, waking up too. You hear that? Okay. So you have this pushing down of the right leg and this pulling up of the left knee. Beautiful. From here, we will switch it out. Let's bring the left leg long, right knee in towards the chest, or maybe like it's going to cup underneath the right armpit. And for this stretch, as much as possible, we want to rest our upper body on the mat. So we're not pulling our head up to meet our knee. And if that means we slide our hands behind our thighs to bring our knee to our face, totally fine. Just want to keep the stretch in the lower body. Fantastic. Once you feel even on this side, you might bring both knees into center and rock forward and back, or meet us in tabletop, however you like. And in tabletop, we'll have our hands underneath our shoulders. Our knees are underneath our hips. Scoot back here. Cool. And let's find some rotations. So we're going to keep this flat back, like something's resting on our tabletop. And then we might hinge forward, so our heart's coming over the space between our hands. And then we might hinge to the side, draw our hips down towards our heels, and then come over to the other side, whichever other side you got, and then forward again. So bringing some movement, making these circles, bringing some movement into our wrists, our knees, our hips, shoulders. So stretching through the crown of the head, maybe stretching through the tailbone as well, thinking about elongating the center line. Long table, yeah, we're not arching or rounding the back at all. Or you can go rogue. If you're calling for an arch or a round, go for it. But give this a try. Maybe make circles in the other direction. And then as you're ready, we'll find stillness and then come to your cat-cows. So we're going to drop the belly, point the tailbone, point the nose for the ceiling. As we inhale. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin in towards the heart. Beautiful. Moving here with your breath. Inhaling, let the belly drop. Exhaling, suck it all in and slide your shoulder blades down your arms like they're going to come along your biceps. Cool. And then we'll move here with our breath for 3 more breaths. At your pace, take as much time as you need. Hopefully, relieving some tension in the spine. You can bring these shoulders into it, like a shoulder roll in the middle, or you can leave them where they are. Totally up to you. And once you've reached your 3rd breath, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. And find some movement here if you'd like. You might drop one heel, bend the opposite knee, and then switch sides. We call this walking the dog, where you can shake your tail feathers, or I've seen people shimmy their shoulders. Go for it. See what you can find here in this shape. And then when you're ready, find stillness in your downward facing dog. We want to think about evenly distributing the weight of our hands as much as possible. And by that, I also mean, pressing the weight throughout the palms as much as possible so that we're not just dumping into our wrists, but really bringing the strength of our fingers and the balls of our fingers in as well, cupping the mat with our hands as much as possible. And then the eyes of the elbows are facing towards the mat, or the opposite sides of the elbows, facing towards the front of the mat as much as possible. Then our tailbone's going to point for the ceiling. And then we're going to think about consciously releasing the muscles of the backs of our legs, letting the heels fall wherever they may. This could be a restful pose, or this might be an energetic pose, something that's challenging. Just notice how it feels today. Then as you're ready, we will look forward, travel forward, or get there however you want. We're going to come to mountain pose. So we're standing on our mat. I'm going to face y'all so you can see me. Cool. So for mountain pose, we're going to build it from the ground up. Just like we cupped our hands to the mat with downward facing dog, we're going to do that same thing with our feet. So pressing into the balls of the feet, the toes, balls of the toes, the heels, as much as you possibly can. You want to grip the mat with your feet and then press the mat away. Love it. Energetically rip your heels away from one another. So they're not going to slide away, but they might, the weight might distribute so that you're going to rip your mat right down the middle of your feet. You might feel the muscles of your legs wrapping around your bones. Let's energetically draw our navel into spine, like we're tensing our core. We're going to draw our shoulders down the back, and then you can have your hands at your sides, or you can reach them high, anywhere in between, wherever they are. Reach your fingertips away from your shoulders, reach your shoulders away from your ears. Beautiful. Mountain pose. I think about building the strong foundation and recognizing that this foundation of our legs, of our base, our anchor points, helps us to support, to grow as we balance. From here, we're going to bring our weight, that rooting space, into the right foot. We're going to lift the left foot for one-legged mountain. Like it's coming, like the knee is going to come into the chest. You can lift it high. You can keep it down. Whatever you want. I want to keep my foot, my left foot, active. Like I'm going to step on the step in front of me. Keep your navel or your belly button drawing in towards your spine to support the front body. Beautiful. From here, we're going to rotate our left knee out to the left. So try and keep the knee at the same height that it is, and then we're going to rotate it back to center. We're going to do that 2 more times at your pace, moving slowly with intention, working to keep our right leg as rooted and still as possible, really pressing the mat away with our right leg. Awesome. And then from here, we'll find our tree pose. So I'm going to drop my hands to show you. We're going to bring our left foot to our right leg. It can be on our right calf, like mine is. It can be kickstanding on the ground against our right ankle. You can assist it up to your right thigh. What you can't do, connect, press it into your knee. That would be wild. Please don't do that. Okay, from here, we're going to find our strong foundation and really think about pressing our right leg back into our left foot just as much as our foot is pressing into our leg. Once we found that strong foundation, hello, grow your branches. You might find a still point on the wall or in the room in front of you where you can bring your gaze to focus as your body moves, as you breathe. Your vision and your gaze stays steady. That can be helpful. Take as many breaks as you need. Find your supports. Come in and out of the shape as you need. That is good. No worries there. Fantastic. From here, we're going to slide our left foot. We're going to keep kind of this angled shape. And we're just going to cross our left ankle over our right leg. Preferably, it's resting on our right thigh for figure 4. So this is our figure four. Your hands might come to center. You might keep your tree branches. From here, you can stay really tall in your figure four. If you like, you can slowly bend your right knee, thinking about pointing your tailbone for the mat as much as possible. So go as high or as low as feels good for you. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. You're doing great. Keeping the left foot as active as possible, so pressing the mat away with the right foot, taking breaks as we need, and then we'll come out of this pose slowly with control. We'll maybe rock from side to side or shake the legs out. And then from here, I'm going to do all that good stuff on the other side. Let's first find our mountain pose. So find your mountain. Thinking about cupping the mat, finding a strong foundation if you would like. If you feel like it, you might close your eyes. Picture yourself on the top of your favorite mountain or anywhere else in nature. Really rooted to the space, part of something bigger. When you're ready, we will bring all that rooting sensation into the left foot now, pressing the mat away with our left foot as we lift the right, like we're going to step on a step in front of us. So your knee can be as high as feels good for you. You can have your hands low or hands high. We'll keep our right foot engaged, actually keep both feet engaged. When we engage our left foot, it's going to help us even out the hips, keep integrity in our foundation to support this balance. As you're ready, we're going to find 3 rotations of the right knee out to the right side. So working to keep the left leg as still as possible, only rotating out to the side as far as feels good for you, coming back in slowly and with control, noticing the strength of your core, helping you move here, taking your time, coming in and out as you need. Fantastic. From here, when you're ready, we'll find our tree pose. So, right knee's going to come out to the right side again. We're going to press it into the left leg. Press the left leg back into your foot. Try the same variation here as you did on the other side. You can always adjust. I like to give it a good try on each side. Once you feel strong in your foundation of your tree, grow your branches. You might be the same kind of tree, you might be a different tree. You might move your branches like you're growing with the sun or in a storm. Dancing, whatever you want. And then when you're ready, we will find our figure 4. So we're going to cross our right ankle over left thigh now. You might bring your hands to heart center, pressing the palms into one another. You can stay lifted and tall, or you might point the tailbone for the mat as you bend the left leg. So we're not having to kick forward so far, like these, hinging our heart forward, but really thinking about keeping a flat spine, like we're sliding down a waterfall. Two more breaths here, whatever shape you found. Fantastic. And then when you're ready, slowly with control, come out. You have balanced, my friends. We have a little bit more of a balancing to come. We're going to bring our heels in, toes out, wider than hip width distance. And then we're going to find Malasana or Yogi squat. So we're going to bend the knees. And if this is where you stop, that's totally fine. If you want to bring your hips all the way down, finding the mat, that's great. You can always sit on a block. Wherever we are, we want to keep our knees lifted. You can have your hands in front of you like I was here. Or you can lift your hands. Think about balancing on your toes if possible. Stacking the head over the heart over the hips. You can be here if you want, wherever you are. It's good. For 3 breaths. So noticing your shape, how it feels for one more. And then moving on. We are going to find our mat. For dragonfly pose, our right leg is extended long. Left leg is coming in towards center, left heel. I'm actually going to point my right toes towards my chest. I'm going to turn my shoulders to square with my right foot and then fold forward, keeping a flat back. So you might not notice a huge fold, and that's totally fine. Just want to bring the heart a little bit closer to the toes and notice where you feel the stretch in your body. Fantastic. I'm going to come back with my head over my hips, and then I'm going to square my shoulders towards the front of the mat or over my left heel here. I'm going to open my right leg out to the side. So my right shoulder is pointing towards my right toes now. I'm going to reach my right hand for my right toes. And I'm going to lift my left hand over, like my left bicep's coming towards my left ear, not towards my nose. So my chest is broad and open, pointing up. Left hand's reaching over towards the right side, finding an intense side bend here. If this is too intense, you can always walk the right hand up and come out of the side bend. I want to breathe here. Allow the weight of the lifted arm to perhaps help us to stretch a little bit deeper, drawing the left hand maybe towards the right toes. Breathing here, wherever you are, noticing how it feels, noticing what sensations you feel and where they are. Fantastic. And when you're ready, we'll come out of this shape. And then we're going to find a wide-legged forward fold. So left leg comes out now. Toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And let's round the spine so you can bring the shoulders in a little bit. And then walk your hands in front of you, away from your chest. But they're in front of you to support you too. So we want to notice where we feel the stretch. I feel it in the backs of my legs, my hips. So much hip work in that balancing sequence, and we use our hips so much throughout the day. So thinking of the stretch as a good thing, motion as lotion, helping the stretch, letting it help us to move. Fantastic. And when you're ready, we'll walk our hands back towards center, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So right heel is going to come in towards the center, and then our left leg extends long, left toe is pointing for the ceiling. We're going to orient or square our shoulders for our left toes. Left toes point towards the clavicles, and then we're going to keep a flat spine as we hinge forward. We're drawing our nose to our toes. Your hands can be assisting you here, maybe reaching, bringing the weight of your shoulders a little closer to your knees, or your hands can be supporting you at your sides, can be up in the air. Do whatever you want with your hands. Notice how it feels to be in this shape, and notice as you breathe and hold the shape, how it might change. Power of your breath. Fantastic. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the head back over the hips. Now I'm going to orient or square my shoulders over my left shin now. I'm going to reach my over my right shin, reach my left arm towards left toes. My left shoulder is pointing towards my left toes now. My chest is opening out towards the right side almost. And then you might lift your right hand high, finding an intense side bend here. Remembering that you control how deep this bend goes. Thinking about the right bicep drawing towards the right ear and not towards the nose. Opening the chest as much as possible. And allowing the weight of the shape, the breath, to change the shape, change where you feel the stretch. Fantastic. And then from here, when you're ready, we will lift the right hand long. And we're going to extend both legs long for forward fold. You can reach the toes for the ceiling. You can have a bend in your knees, like a micro bend. You can even slide a pillow underneath your knees. And then we're gonna reach for your toes, reach for your ankles. Allow the head to be heavy. You can allow the back to round here. And again, this is an intense stretch. Wherever you are, if you're reaching for your feet, the stretch can be really intense. So breathe through this. Recognize the sensations that you feel. Think about if you need to adjust or make a change. And choose, maybe you're going to make that change today. But as we breathe, can we stay with this sensation, not with pain, but with stretching, with maybe some tension, maybe some tingling, maybe a little bit of discomfort, again, not pain. Some challenge. And as we breathe, as we take stock of how this feels, can we settle in, find a little bit of ease, whatever that means for you in the shape. Whether your hands are touching your toes or your thighs, it doesn't matter. As we breathe and manage this stretch, that's where the growth is happening, friends. All good stuff. We'll be here for 7 more breaths. Staying with the breath for 3. Great job. When you're ready, ooh, big stretch there. Okay, we're gonna come onto our backs. And we're gonna bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And then I'm gonna cross my right ankle over left thigh, figure 4, just like we did standing. Now, we're gonna allow this to be more of a stretch. So you might notice how the shift in balance here, where our gravity is, changes the sensation of the stretch. You might keep your left foot resting on the mat. You might hover your left foot or find a 90-degree angle with your left knee, drawing your figure 4 of your right foot and your right leg towards the heart space. You can use your hands to support the shape, draw it closer to your heart, or push your right thigh away from your chest. What I ask that we don't do is bring our head and shoulders up again. Yeah, let's Keep our head and shoulders down and allow this stretch, allow this sensation to be in the lower body as much as possible. Breathing here for 3 more breaths. And then as you're ready, we're going to slide the right knee in towards the left knee. So the left knee comes behind the right knee. You might swing your left ankle out towards the right side and reach for your shins with your hands, or you can reach for your knees, backs of your thighs, and draw your knees in towards your chest if that feels good. Right to a level of intensity where you feel a stretch, but no pain. And then as you're ready, we're going to drop our knees over to the left side for supine twist. So our right hip is going to stack over the left, and you can always unwind your knees if this is too intense, and just stack your right knee over left. You can tee out or goalpost your arms, and to deepen the stretch, you can look over to the right side of the mat. Breathing here for 5 breaths. And then as you're ready, drawing the navel into spine to support you as you bring the right hip back to the mat. And we'll do the same on the other side. So we're going to stack our left ankle over the right thigh. Left knee opens out to the side. And then try the same variation on this side as you did on the other. So if you kept your right foot grounded here, give that a try. If you lifted your left foot, give it a try on the right side. Hey, get some creaking and cracking. Working to allow your hips to be heavy here. Find the mat with both shoulder blades, just using the hands to support the level of stretch that feels good for you. Beautiful. When you're ready, we will cup our left knee over the right. You might swing the right shin out to the left side, grab your shins with your hands or your thighs, the backs of your thighs with your hands or your knees, drawing that in towards your heart space as much as possible. I like to call this whale's tail. It's summer. Feels summer appropriate. Okay, from here, we're going to bring our knees over to the right side. Find the knees in the shape that feels good for you, so always unwind them or decrease the wind as feels good, and then we'll stack our left hip over right. Tee out or goalpost your arms. You might deepen the stretch by looking over to the left side. For 5 more breaths. And then as you're ready, when you feel even on this side, we'll draw the navel into spine to support us as we drop the left knee back towards the mat. And then we're going to bring both knees into the chest. And now we can bring our shoulders up, tuck the forehead in between the knees, maybe. Just reach like you're gonna nestle your nose in between your knees. Bring it all in. Really hug your shins or hug your legs in towards center as much as possible. Draw your head in, everything pulling in like a coil, all this energy or a seed. Beautiful. And then we're going to let it go slowly and with control. Find your last pose. I'm going to extend my legs long and allow my hands to come to my sides. Find the mat with both shoulder blades. I might even shimmy my shoulders together to create a shelf for the heart. Allowing the feet to come wide. In yoga, we think about this time to soak in our practice, whatever that means for you. But I hope you won't skip it. Maybe for a few breaths, even staying with the sensation of right now, where you are. Finding rest. If you can do that for a few moments, you might consciously think about letting your feet be heavy wherever they are. Releasing your legs where they rest. Allowing your hips to be heavy. Allowing the muscles of the lower body to release their tension. Nowhere else to be for a few moments. Finding rest. Allowing the hands to be heavy wherever they are. And finding a restful upper body. Letting go of the muscles around the eyes. If you can close your eyes or bring your gaze past your nose. Releasing the tension in between the eyebrows. Letting the muscles of the mouth relax. The jaw. Finding rest right now. We'll be here in this rest for 10 breaths, and then we'll close out our practice together. Might bring some movement into your fingers and toes. Maybe fluttering the eyes open if they closed, or rotating the wrists and ankles. Maybe taking a stretch that feels good, a good morning stretch, or bringing the hands away from your chest. And then as you're ready, we'll come to a comfortable seat, slowly with intention. Closing out the practice, I'm going to bring my hands in front of my chest, and I like to rub them together, create a bit of heat, a little bit of warmth this morning. You can always bring that heat to your belly or your face, or stack them over your heart. You're important already. You always were. Your presence is treasured, and thank you so much for everything that you have done for our country. Thank you for the 4th. Celebrating together. I hope you have a fantastic celebration with yours today. And thank you for sharing your practice. Thank you for making this time for yourself. I deeply appreciate you all. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Be well, friends.